just explode!
Carrot, the proxy? Even with a good aptitude for ether, they'll be corrupted if they stay in the hollow too long.
Hey, you here to play?
Hey, how you feeling? Awesome! Time to wake up, Billy!
I want to file a complaint!
Hey, what is up y'all? Welcome to Zenless Zone Zero, a game that was just released on July 4th, 2024. I've actually been eagerly awaiting this game ever since it was first announced back in May 2022. The most amazing part about this is the fact that this was back when I was still a senior in high school. Now I'm a sophomore in college, moving on to being a junior. So it's been a while. I will not lie, after this huge wait, I kind of forgot about this game and I was interested in a bunch of other games. So my interest in this game did die down quite a bit. However, I am a big fan of Hoyoverse games, and that's because Hoyoverse has never failed me. That's because 1, the art style is usually so good, the stories are okay, they're not bad, I like them, I think they're fun. I love all the characters, they're all so cool, and waifus. I am a sucker for waifus. Whoa, what was that? Anyways, the other thing I like about this game is the fact that I can sate my gambling addiction. Though I never have good luck, so my gambling addiction is for nothing. So the purpose of today's video is to discuss whether or not y'all think this game is worth your time. With Genshin, Star Rail, and Wuthering Waves now up for play, it's now time to consider whether or not y'all should pick up Zenless Zone Zero, because this is going to be the 4th game that, well, personally, I'm going to be playing at the same time. So I'm going to be playing 4 games every single day for sure. But not everyone can play 4 games at once, so this is just a video to help y'all consider whether or not you should play Zenless Zone Zero and drop another game, or play all games at once. However, this is all going to be based on my own personal opinion, so please take everything with a grain of salt. So first up on the list of things that a lot of people like to consider before they start playing a game is the actual combat. So the combat in this game is very interesting because it's very flashy, you get 3 characters, and you get yourself a combo-based gameplay loop. If I had to compare this game's combat style to any other game, I would actually compare it a lot more to Wuthering Waves than to Genshin. That's because 1, there's a lot of combos that you can play with, such as these parries, dodges, all that kind of stuff, which is something that Genshin lacks. And I found that I really dislike the fact that Genshin does not have these options to parry, because parrying has made the game feel so much more dynamic, and it feels more immersive, and I think that's a big plus. So let's dive in a little bit deeper into the combat itself. The first thing you'll always notice on these kind of games is the basic attack, and you'll see it right here, and it does what you would expect it to do. It's just a character's standard attack patterns. Next up would be the dash, which is something that allows you to dodge attacks as well as counter attacks if you're able to get the timing right. Next up is your special attacks, which are basically your skill if you're considering Genshin or even Wuthering Waves. The unique thing about this is the fact that your special attacks are not based on a timer like in any other game. It's actually based on an energy count that your characters have, and your characters can only use their special skills once they fill up a certain portion of their bar. There are 2 more aspects to battles that we really need to think about. The first being the ultimate. Similar to other games, your ultimate is something that is built up over time and has a specific charge. However, the main difference is that your ultimate is shared among multiple characters. So once it's used, you have to build it up again if you want to use it on another character. So the final thing that we're going to be talking about in terms of combat is the assist bar. This basically allows you to swap between characters and do counter attacks if you get the timing right. For example, this right here is a case of using a counter attack when you switch. When you get your timing right, you build up these little bars which are surrounding your switch icon, and building that up allows you to get the assists and it does more damage. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to get too deep in the build crafting side of this kind of stuff because I'm really not an expert at this stuff yet, so I'm not going to really offer that much. But there are things like W frames and artifact type stuff. I don't really understand it yet myself, so I'm not going to go into it, but it does exist in this game. So check someone else out and they'll probably explain it better than I ever could. The next thing I have to talk about is the art style of the game, because the art style is so unique. I love the way they tell the stories through the comic book style frames, as well as the scenes where they have the characters look kind of funky. Well, I shouldn't say funky, they're kind of like goofier styles, and I like the fact that it's so much more lighthearted than something like Genshin. Like, the way this character is acting is, I don't know, way more unique, and it gives a lot more character. I love this. I feel like these characters are so much easier to fall in love with because their designs are really fun. You also can't go wrong with the fact that the main character is a bang boo. Like, look at that, that's so cute. Another really unique aspect about this game is the way that the story is told. The story is told through a lot of comic book style scenes like this. These kind of scenes are actually really my favorite part about this game. I think that this style of storytelling is just really fun and nostalgic in a way because I used to read these kind of comics when I was younger. In a similar vein, I think I really love the way they do the dialogue in this game because being able to see the characters' faces like this is very nostalgic of older games where dialogue was presented in a similar fashion. I think it's much better to be able to see the characters' faces in this manner rather than from a cinematic point of view. I actually usually end up getting bored of seeing those kind of animations, and I find that this is pretty useful for me. Next up on the list of amazing things Zenless Zone Zero has done for me is the fact that, well, the game offers you 50 pulls at a discount, as well as a guaranteed 5-star within these 50 pulls. On top of that, the game also gives you a counter to tell exactly what your pity is at, and exactly when you're going to get your next 4-star or next 5-star. Now you may notice that I actually got a 5-star on my first 10 pull. Well, in this game they're called S ranks. And I was incredibly hyped because in both Genshin, Honkai, and Wuthering Waves, I have incredibly terrible luck. But for some reason, Zenless Zone Zero has decided to turn it around and be like, hey, your first 10 pull, why don't we give you an S rank? And in fact, the S rank is one of my favorite characters from the test trials because Grace Howard was so fun to play. And I have to admit, she's got to be one of my favorite characters in the entire game. But anyways, I've done about 100 pulls on this game, so let's see exactly what we've gotten from the most memorable of pulls. I apparently didn't record the fact that I got Nekomata. But yeah, I ended up getting her at the, I don't know, somewhere around 80 pity on the standard banner, so that's pretty cool. Then 10 pulls later, I ended up getting myself another 5-star. Yeah, so it's streamer luck, I guess. But the main issue is I don't stream, guys. I don't know where this luck is coming from. Hopefully it sticks with me. Because I would really hate for another really bad luck account. Because, yeah, it's really bad when you lose like 5 50-50s in a row. But yeah, we got ourselves a W engine right here, and it fits perfectly on Nekomata. Moving on from the pulls is another really unique feature of this game. I really love the fact that there are mini games that you can actually play with other people on this game. For example, we have Snake here, and another game is some kind of get down to the bottom as fast as you can, kind of like a race against time. On top of the fact that there are solo versions of each of these games where you have to, I don't know, complete some sort of mission to get some rewards because, you know, rewards for pulls are really nice because, I don't know, it's more fun to get rewarded with it. Not gonna lie, I don't know how I did so good on this game. I'm not even good at Snake. So for the last part of this video, I just want to talk about the game in general and my thoughts on it. So first off, I want to thank Zenless Zone Zero for actually adding a skip function to actually skip dialogue, because a lot of the side quests and that kind of stuff I don't care about, so I just want to skip it, because why should I pay attention to this story if it really doesn't impact the main story, which I do care about. I also have to say that this game is extremely unique when it comes to the gameplay, the storyline, and the way everything is told. From the moment I stepped foot in this game, I was hooked. I loved the way everything was just unfolding before my very eyes. I couldn't wait to see what happened next. And as I was saying, the gameplay is extremely unique. Like, when have you ever seen a game where you're based on TV screens and moving like a turn-based game? One of my favorite aspects of this game are the NPCs themselves, because walking down even such a small little street, you see so many different types of NPCs that, I don't know, it brings the world to life. It doesn't feel weird because you don't see 5 of the same character doing different things, all having different names and living different lives. You see many different looking characters of all different types, and it's amazing just to walk around a city and see everyone differently. And as I was mentioning earlier, every character is so unique and full of life that I actually really love all of the characters. I can't wait to pull on more characters' banners and try to get them on my team in the future. So when it comes to coming up with a score for the game itself, I have to consider the story, the characters, the combat, the quality of life, and other stuff like that. But when it comes to the combat, I'm gonna have to say it's a perfect 10. I love the combat entirely. I think it's punctual, it's dynamic, it's amazing, and it can only get better in the future as more characters are added with new, different, unique playstyles. The characters, I love them. 9 out of 10, because each of the characters are unique, Some of the designs are a little bland, but that's only going to get better as well as more characters are added to the game. The storyline, I think it's amazingly well done as well. I like the fact that we can skip stuff, so that's a plus. That's why I love Wuthering Waves so much. We can skip side quests, because I don't care about those. The story, it's really well put together. The comic book style is amazing. The presentation of the dialogue, it's awesome. I think it's unique, it's fun, it's really immersive, and it makes you want to keep going. I had a little bit of trouble putting down the game so I can actually edit this video, because it's so fun. And last but not least, the quality of life. I think the quality of life is really well done as well. The menus, they're nice, they're organized, they feel good. The NPCs, they're all really cool. I love all of the different NPCs that help you along with your journey. Now, the only thing that's holding back the quality of life score is the fact that even though the menus are fun and really clicky and nice to click on, the main issue is that they're not very intuitive and can be hard to find when you first start playing the game. For example, a lot of the keybinds that you would have on Genshin or Star Rail are not the same as on Zenless. For example, quests would be the button J on a keyboard. But if you press J on Zenless, you do not get anything to pop up. And that's a bit of an issue because I had trouble figuring out where I could find my quests. Overall, I think I'm gonna have to give this game about a 9 out of 10 because, well, I think it's amazing. I think it's a really fun play and y'all should pick it up if y'all have time. I think this game is really worth it because it's free, you can play it at your own pace, and it's got a really fun, unique combat style. The story is amazing and, well, the world is yours to explore. I have high expectations for this game. I just really hope that the devs themselves will listen to the community such as how the Star Rail devs have listened to us. They've given us so many more rewards than the Genshin devs have, and I really hope they keep that level of communication with us. I think that line of communication is really important, and if they keep that, and I think the game would thrive for the foreseeable future. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and of course, have a good one.